What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, and in this video we're having a look at a squash racket. More specifically, it's the Pro Airstick Lite 550 and it comes in this extremely green bag. It's quite nice actually. It's a bit padded on the inside and has sort of a cord so you can wrap it around your shoulders, carry it around. And it's actually quite nice that Prince includes this, because usually when you buy a racket you want something to transport it as well. And this is sort of a lightweight and cheap option to include something that's actually quite nice and will protect your racket a little bit. But obviously the star of the show is the racket itself. Now the challenge is obviously to get this on video properly, but since it doesn't really fit in the shot completely, it's 68 centimeters long, you're going to have to do with me in this video, which is fine. Now I am an intermediate, maybe a little bit advanced squash player. I've been playing for the best part of a decade, and this racket is actually geared not at beginners at all, but to intermediate to advanced players. It's a full composite material racket that features a lot of the sort of technologies that Prince is known for, like this inverted ring here on the bottom. It only weighs 130 grams unstrung, so it's quite light. Not the lightest racket that Prince sells, but absolutely not the heaviest racket. As you can see, it is quite nicely balanced, sort of right there. Now from the get-go I have to say that I prefer my rackets to be slightly more top-heavy. I don't know if you can call me a power player, but I'm more about the hard and long hits rather than the super fine touch. And I found that this racket does both pretty well, but because the balance is sort of right here in the middle, it is, in my mind, more suitable for players that are a bit more about that fine touch and a bit more about the angles, rather than a player like me who prefers to hit like the longer balls, the harder balls, and prefers a bit of a more top-heavy, balanced racket. So let's start at the bottom of this racket. With the grip, Prince includes a Duratec grip, which is just the grip. It's the white. I wouldn't have chosen that personally, because you know, once you start sweating, once it falls on the floor once or twice, this is going to get dirty pretty quickly. So I personally like my grips to be a bit darker, just because it looks nicer. That said, the grip is pretty awesome, nice and tight. Good grip, and even with sweaty hands, you'll keep maintaining a proper grip on the racket, which is nice. So moving up from the grip, obviously you got the neck of the racket with the inverted ring that Prince is very well known for, which, and I will have to quote my notes here, the main strings wrap around the inverted ring in the throat. String bed resiliency is therefore maximized, resulting in unprecedented power. Now that's a lot of marketing blah blah. It does provide for a nice smooth tension all throughout the racket, which I kind of like, and it also means that there's less points where actually the string can break, which is nice because it sort of evenly distributes the load of those strings. The string pattern, very traditional, 16 by 17, nothing to see there. Prince recommends a certain kind of strings, but obviously that is completely up to you, you know, because at some point your strings will break, and then, you know, it's up to you what kind of strings you put back in there. Referring to my notes again, in terms of the power, string recommends the synthetic gut with Duraflex. Actually, that's the strings that are in here. And Prince recommends a tension of about 25 pounds or 11 kilos with about 2 kilo variation up or down. So depending on what kind of player you are, you can adjust your string tension that way. Around the racket, not that much to see. It's a full graphite racket, like I said before. A little protection here on the top, pretty standard stuff. Very light, doesn't weigh the racket down at all. And like I already said, the balance is, you know, right here in the middle, as you can see. And for me as a player, yeah, I prefer the top-heavy racket, but this is a very maneuverable racket. Easy on the wrist, obviously, because it's only 130 grams, which is actually without the strings. But it makes it easy to move the racket around, and because the balance is, you know, right here, it makes for a very flexible playing style that is possible. And also, obviously, depending on where you grip the racket, you know, if you grab it all the way on the bottom, the balance is going to be slightly different for you, but I suppose most players grab sort of near the top of the grip anyway, and then it's quite nice that your balance point is right here. Now, it's not the most expensive racket Prince sells at all. It's around 70 euros, between 70 and 80 here in Germany. So it's entry-level price, I'd say. And I suppose a beginner can play with this racket just fine, but Prince says it aims for the intermediate to advanced player, which I think suits it really well. I mean, the characteristics of the racket are nice, the weight is good, and the balance is nice. So if you're a player that is happy with the balance right here in the middle, I think this is an excellent racket for the price. Providing that you take matters into your own hands, so to speak, when it comes to the strings and the grip. But even if you can use this racket out of the box, no problems at all, without getting used to it all too much, because it's a very well-rounded racket that sort of suits most playing styles for at least 80%, I'd say. All in all, I quite like it. I'm not really interested in the design of the racket, to be honest, but I think sort of the red, white and black color scheme is quite nice. And overall, it's a racket that you get familiar with quite quickly. Like I said, get it out of the box, use it a few times, and you'll be probably quite happy with it if the balance is the kind of balance that suits your playing style. And again, like I said, for me, I prefer a bit more top-heavy racket. I could even go for a racket that is slightly heavier than 130 grams, because I'm a reasonably big guy, so I can handle that pretty well, and it fits my game a bit better as well. All in all, good racket for a good price. From obviously a brand that is, maybe even industry leading in the squash game. And if you see the kind of athletes that play with their rackets, Remy Ashour, Nicole Davis, you're in good hands with this racket. It's not the newest racket Prince offers as well, actually. This, as far as I could find, this is actually the 2014 model that came out then. So, it's not the newest thing they offer, but, if it ain't broken, you don't need to fix it. So a very easy racket to get into, and a racket that'll serve you really well as a good all-rounder. This is Peter from Reviews on Anything. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though I was in it all the time. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!